Today we remember San Juan Diego, the farm weaver. His profession was weaving, and he belonged to the indigenous people of Mexico. And he was a recent convert to Catholicism. The Franciscans came to Mexico on the year 1524. And on the year 1531, the Virgin Mary appeared to him and told him, go to the bishop, asked him to build a church in this place, referring to Tepeyac Hill. And so he went, but apparently the bishop did not pay serious attention to him. And when he was back to the field and the Blessed Mother appeared to him again, he reported, said, he did not mind me because I am an ordinary person. And so the Blessed Mother said, return to him. And this time, I am going to send him a sign. And all of a sudden, there were flowers on the field of Tepeyac on a cold winter day when the ground was almost parched dry and nothing was blossoming. But it was a miracle because there were all of a sudden many flowers. And the Blessed Mother said, pick up those flowers. And he put them in his apron. And then he brought the flowers to the bishop, who was surprised. And when he put out the flowers and they were scattered on the floor, behold, the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared on the apron of Juan Diego. The famous image of the Blessed Mother, where her features are mestiza, aquiline nose, really looking just like the colonizers, but her color was, she was colored. So there was a mixture. She belonged to the colonizers and at the same time to the colonized people. Her garments indicated that she was, and in fact her tummy showed that she was heavy with child. She was pregnant. But at the same time, her garment showed that she was a virgin. She is a virgin. So may combination ng mga elements to say, na look, she is having a child, but at the same time, she is also a virgin. She is for the colonized people, but at the same time, she is also for the indigenous people. And when the authorities checked the apron of Juan Diego, the image, they found in that image the Lady of Guadalupe. In her eyes, you could still see through a microscope, in the eyes of the Blessed Mother, there is Juan Diego kneeling on the ground. And the flowers could also be seen. And remember, this image happened on the year 1531, but the image is still extant until now at the Basilica of Guadalupe in Mexico. And men and women of science are perplexed. How come the image has not disintegrated through the years? My dear friends, this is very appropriate as we are in the season of Advent, as we celebrate the days when the Blessed Mother is carrying Jesus in her womb. The Lady of Guadalupe appeared. She is now considered to be the patron saint for the pro-life movement. Imagine when Juan Diego was asked to return to the bishop, his uncle was burning with fever to the point of dying. It was really a great test on the part of Juan Diego. But the Blessed Virgin said, your uncle shall survive. Just go and bring the flowers to the bishop. And it happened. And the basilica was built. And he built a small house near the basilica during the remainder of his years, and he was guiding the pilgrims at Tepeyac. That's the life story of the indigenous Juan Diego, a man of humble heart. In our first reading, we have Isaiah telling the people of Israel, your suffering is about to end. Your service is at an end. Your guilt is expiated. They had been thrown to a pagan land, Babylon. But now the prophet says, it shall end. It shall end. And true enough, not much later, the Babylonians, the conquerors of the Jews, were toppled down by the kingdom of Persia. At ito namang hari ng Persia told them, okay, you remain my conquered people, but I will allow you to go back home. And you can even rebuild the temple that had been destroyed. And I'm going to send money, government money, to your contractors, so you can rebuild the temple. Sabi ng mga taga-Israel, we were like men dreaming. We never imagined this to happen. Di na namin sukat akalain, makakabalik ba kami sa aming talagang bayan? But they did. They were able to return to Israel. May bonus pa nga. They could rebuild the temple. And when the house of the Lord is standing, He is present among us. He is protecting us. He is saving us. We were like men dreaming. We never thought this could happen. But it did. So the words of the prophet were fulfilled. Meron pa siyang sinabi, a voice will cry out, prepare the way of the Lord. Para bang, let us construct a spiritual highway. Kung saan daw may valley, lubak-lubak, punuin. If you lack concern or empathy to your neighbors, to those who suffer, if you are indifferent, fill it up with good works. Fill it up with understanding, with care, with concern. Kasi baka lubak, hindi makakadating ang iniintay nating Messiah, Savior. O naman daw, baka mountains and hills. Baka naman meron kang tumbok-tumbok dyan na pride, greed, anger, kalusin, ipatagin. Ang mga liku-likong daan, straighten it out. Di ba kapag may dumarating na VIP, ayusin natin yung daan, yung kalsada, para maganda yung kanyang pagpasok, pagdating sa atin. And this is Advent. Waiting actively and trying to restore what has been damaged. We need spiritual preparation. Prepare the way of the Lord. Para walang obstacle between Him and us and Him. No? Kasi kapag mayroong obstacle dyan, how can He come? Sa ating first reading, sinasabi, the glory of God shall shine forth. And we will see Him as somebody who will rule with a strong arm. Wow! Yung Messiah pala, ruler, hari, makapangyarihan. He can make things happen. Pero alam niyo, nakakatakot yun eh. Kung isang side lang ng pagiging ruler, yes, you're powerful, but will you help us? Are you going to save us? Do you have compassion for us? Ang sabi sa first reading, of course. Because the ruler who comes is also, on the other hand, a shepherd. A shepherd. He will lead the ewes with care, and he will carry the lamb in his bosom. Parang yung sinasabi sa gospel, the one that is lost, buhat-buhat niya. Hinanap talaga. Pag nawala ka, nawala tayo, hahanapin tayo talaga ng Diyos. Kahit na ikaw ang nag-iisang ikaw sa mundong ito, He will still offer His life on the cross. Tandaan mo yan. Kahit ikaw na lang ang nag-iisang tao, He will still offer His life on the cross. Pero hindi niyo pababayaan yung 99 sa ilalim, yung mga ewes, mga young sheep. He will still lead them. Diba? Humanly speaking, yan mo na yung nagwala na yan, yung lumayas na yan, siya natutong umalis, matuto siyang bumalik. Total, meron pa naman ako 99, ang dami pa yan. That's the mentality of the world. But that's not the mind of God. The mind of God says, when there is somebody who is alienated, who is lost, God seeks him out, seeks her out. Hahanapin at hahanapin. Kaya tanda natin, when we drift further away from the Lord, kasi nanlalamig tayo sa prayer, nagkukulang tayo sa charity work, or charity, or mga good thoughts natin about others, and we live in a very dark world of hatred and sin and judgment. You know, it is good, first of all, to admit we are lost. But on the other hand, realize that God is capable of saving us. And further down, for us to remember that the joy of God is true. It is very true. The moment you decide to return to the Lord, sabi nga, one step lang, pabalik sa Kanya, magugulat tayo. Kasi nandun na pala siya kaagad sa likod natin. Hindi pala niya tayo iniwan all alone. You only have to make that one decision. The season of Advent is not about perfect people. No. We have our lostness. But the good news is, God is ready to find us. Surrender yourself. Allow yourself to be found, to be saved by God, and to be put back on the right track. May the good Lord continue to bless us.